There are differences between a layperson path and a path that is followed by the monks. In the beginning, there's a lot of difference. Towards the end, there's no difference. The difference comes from the way a layperson lives their life and the way monks is committed to living. Monk has given up the world and he lives a life which is constrained by the 227 rules that he has to keep. With a lay person, anything goes. You know, so long as precept you keep, it's up to you. So long as you don't break the rules of society, you can do whatever you want. So you have lots of freedom to choose how you want to live your life. Path of practice requires three things: ethics or morality, sila, concentration practice, samadhi, panya, wisdom. Require all three, one supports the other. In with a lay person, he has to work out two things. One is the moral precept, how much to follow, and concentration, how much practice he has to put in, how to live his life. That comes under concentration. One of the most important practice for monks is guarding the five senses, so that there's no distraction. That because of dependent origination, because of contact, feeling arises, and then the whole mind runs away. You know, so the guarding of the senses is very important. But for the lay people, you have to interact, right? Well, that's the part of concentration or mindfulness. But I want to start by talking about morality, sila. Before I even start talking about that, I want to assure you that it is possible for a layperson to reach the state of an anagami, right? Not just a papana, sakadagami. It's an anagami, which means a once never returner. So you got 4 noble persons, 3 mentor, Sotapanna, once returner, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahant. So during Buddha's time, there are lots and lots of Sotapanna, lots and lots of Sakadagami, and there are lots and lots of Anagami. Arahants, most of the people who become Arahants automatically become, well, they join the order. Well, I don't talk about the 7-day rules where you have to join, you know, whether if you don't join, whether you can still continue to live in this world. To live that. The only difference between an anagami and the other 2 noble persons is that the anagami will have to keep the 8 precepts. Right? He can still live in the world, but he keeps the 8 precepts. That's different. So for layperson, it just, you have to keep the 5 precepts. Well, the 5 precepts for a lot of people say, well, it's a big deal keeping the 5 precepts, First precept, not killing, yeah, I can do that. Second precept, not stealing, yeah, I can do that. Not too bad. Third precept, well, it's a bit difficult, Got to define how it is. Fourth precept, not telling lies, not too bad. And the fifth precept, keeping sober, that's a bit of a problem, How much do we have to keep, right? Because we live in as a lay person, we have to interact with people. We have to entertain people. Some of us, our job is that. We've got to have friends. So I'll go through the precept and say what's the minimum that's required. With the first precept, I think most people won't have a problem. You don't really, in modern society, we do not have really a good reason to kill anything, right? In the olden days, you want to eat pork, chicken, you have chicken in your farm, or you rear chicken in the backyard. You've got to do something about it. Then you do chicken curry, right? So in the modern world, you're lucky, it's done for you, pork, beef, whatever you want, fish, So, the thing is that the Buddha says that meat on the market, right? Eating it buying meat on the market does not involve. You're not directly responsible for the killing, and the word is directly, right? Indirectly, there are so many other causes, Right, if they won't eat meat, will they kill one less chicken or something? That kind of thing. Indirect causes it's so complex, right? So it is the direct cause that's important. If you go to a friend's house, you go to visit a friend who lives in the village, it's come, I'll kill the chicken to make chicken curry for you, and then the monks are not allowed to eat it. Right? The monks are not allowed to because it's directly involving because being there, you will. So in that sense, when that sort of thing happens, then you don't do it. Right? So that's a direct call, Now, if you sort of, there's a class of things called pests, or vermins and all that sort of thing. Then you have to decide, right, for yourself. It depends on the size of the animals or insect involved, right? So, for most people, right, you seldom come across that, right? If you do come across that, if you're in doubt, best thing is not to do it, right? If you're in doubt, like whether you should do it or you don't do it, But if you have no doubt that if you do it, you're going to save somebody's life, then you do it, right? There's no doubt, But, so that's the first precept. In the second precept, not taking things that does not belong to you, that comes from avarice, greed, Well, there's a lot of free pens in the company, we can use a few at home, give it to my son, give friends, and all that sort of thing. does it matter? It does matter in your. It doesn't. The thing is that it does matter with your way of thinking, right? So ultimately, it matters to you because you have disregard something which is important towards the end. It may not be important now, but important to the end. And it also important on other decisions you're going to make, right? Because this thing doesn't stay there, right? If you like, you have dropped to one level, right? And then another level, and another level, another level, so things get worse, right? So if you can stop at the level where you think, well, I give up, I'll give up on, not being able to have free pens, from the office, I can do without, pay the extra money, go and buy pens, not take free pens from the office, It's things like that you don't know, Sometimes, people like, there's small things. People make a scapegoat or there's some people who because of bad karma, they have been made an example. It can happen, I'm not saying that's the reason, but the most important reason is that you do not want to let your mind slip. You do not want to have negligent thought. See? You do not want to be negligent in your practice. Well, if your path is not towards awakening, then it doesn't matter, right? A small thing. But if you are seriously about training yourself to getting awakened, then you have to keep the precept as best you can. Now, the third precept, sexual misconduct, right? Most of what you do depends on intention, right? If your intention is not good, right, if it's not honorable, then it is wrong, right? But the important thing is not to rationalize what your intention is, right? First thing that comes out, your intention. There are people, how some people go through this, they know it's wrong, but they rationalize it. Well, it's okay to steal, insurance pay for it. The person gets something new, so I'm doing him a favor if I steal something from him. That kind of rationalization, and say, oh yes, okay, this thing. So that's rationalization. I'm giving an example, So with sexual misconduct, you have to see your intention, right? What it all comes down to, the purpose of keeping morality is that there's no remorse, no guilt, right? Because without remorse, you have gladness. Without gladness, there's happiness. Happiness leads to concentration, right? So without guilt, that's the most important thing. Right? Once you have guilt, then it plays in your mind. If you don't have gladness, if you don't have happiness, it's very difficult to get concentration from that. Even you sit, a lot of people sit and they start worrying, that's all they do. Right? What did I say? I'm not sure I'm saying that's correct or not. What will happen now? I've said that, I should have said that. That kind of guilt that comes up. That's what this. That's why we keep the precept. Most important thing is that no remorse. Fourth precept, lying. And I said, well, this is what I always say. If you lie to somebody, it's not bad. Just lie to that person once. Right? If you lie to yourself, you lie to yourself throughout your life, because you keep on to that lie. Right? So it's more important not to lie to yourself, you know. And also, of course, you do not lie to somebody else, right? You get the things that you get lots of other repercussions. You know it's not right to do, you know. There are times, you know, like because of dependent origination, fear arises and you lie. You know, there's nothing you can do about it, right? There's nothing, if you can't repair, you know. If you cannot repair it, you live with it, you let go of it, right? You have to accept who you are, what you have done, and then progress from there, right? You realize, well, it's fear that driven me to that, and then you look at that fear, you know? You look at that fear. That's part of the practice, right? That's all part of the practice. The most important is have not to lie to yourself. Rationalization is one of them. Delusion is another one, you know, lying to yourself. When you know for yourself that you're not, it's not right, but you close it, you do not want to see it, right? So that's the important part of the practice. It comes under the perfection, parami of satya, truth, being truthful to yourself. So watch that, that's important. Even in the practice. And there are times when people point out your fault, you know, you don't want to admit it, you know, say, no, that's not true, you know, I'm not like that, you know. Well, that's okay, but when you go back and think about it, and you know it's true, you have to face it, yes, I'm like that. Right? Okay. You don't have to think that, well, I'm bad because I'm like that. You know, you are what you are because of your conditioning. That is your conditioning. There are other people's conditioning. You're in a spectrum. You're neither good nor bad. You're here. There are lots of people who are worse than you. There are lots of people who are better than you. All you have to do is progress. You've got to start from somewhere. Right? So you got to, first of all, accept who you are, what you are. What you are is just conditioned being, not your fault, in some sense. Because where you're born, which family you're born, which village you've been brought up, which country you've been brought up, what books you've read, people you meet, teachers, friends, all those conditioning. Time until you come to a point where you can think for yourself and decide that conditioning is no good. This person is not something I like to mix with. This crowd of people are people who lead me to the wrong way. These are the people I like to be with. So that change your condition, right? Whatever you are, you accept it, right? You are no better or worse than anybody. And your own view of yourself is just your view, so you can pick either good. If you are a positive person, pick all the good bits, and bend a few bits. You're better than others, right? If you're a person who is pessimistic, and you see all the bad bits about yourself, invent a few worse bits, wow, I'm worse than the other person, then you're the worst person in the world. Right? Feel, don't feel. Other people's view. Your own view. Your own view. None of them is the truth. It's just an aspect of who you are at a particular moment. You're not always like that. Well, it's like, depending on the people, I think you're not like that when you're with monks, aren't you? Right? All good behaviors are there. Right? Generous, concentrated, mindful, happy, not vindictive. That's it. That's the situation you're in. Fifth precept. Intoxicants. What I'm talking about is all minimum, right? So, intoxicants that leads to heedlessness. Well, the first thing you got to avoid an intoxicant that leads to addiction, right? That's the first thing. If it leads to addiction, it's definitely wrong. You're an addicted person, how can you practice? Okay, about practice, right? If you're already addicted, that's a different thing, you can start from where you are, right? But not go towards the addiction. If you're in leading a layperson's life, you have to socialize, social drinking. It all depends on how many days you're sober, right? Let's all start with that, That's the something better than being addicted. The second, the one better than that is not to get yourself drunk, right? Tipsy. You drink and then to know when you have enough, right? See, this is it. Keep to it. You enjoy your drink. One glass, two glasses. That's it, right? Let go, because you do not want to. You want to be sober, so you can recover the next day. Does drinking have an effect on? Well, I'm just talking about alcohol now, because does drinking have an effect on meditation? Not very much, right? I'm not talking about people who are seriously drunk, but people who maybe just go a night out, and then get drunk, not really drunk, get hangover the next day, It's just that you lose the time, right? For 3 days you can't really sit, you can't really sit and practice. But as you progress in your practice, you will find that you value your state of mind, you value your mindfulness much more than being numb, with drinks, You begin to appreciate, you begin to learn to want to protect that good state of mind. You want to learn to protect that mindfulness. And it all comes through practice, right? That's the first thing about knowing your limit regarding the 5 precepts. Right. Most important, not getting addicted to anything. Drinks, like gambling, no addiction to that. You can get addicted to practically anything. Computer game, right? Novels, right? People go, well, wherever they go, novel, novel. You sit in the dance, you maintain mindfulness of the body, you sit on the train, you have mindfulness of your breath. You're in an aeroplane, practice mindfulness. So with a novel, escaping, right? Reading novel is a kind of escaping. It's enjoyable, of course. But yeah, they tell you it's a good time to spend. Yeah, you do. You do learn a few things, in whatever you read here, but not as good as mindfulness, right? moral story, we learn a bit of philosophy, we learn a lot about characters, you know. But now it's good learning to be mindful, keeping to be mindful. So, non-addictive, whatever that you're addicted to, right? Try to limit that. Not give it up. Reduce the number of, if you are on the computer 6 hours a day, reduce that to 5 hours. You know, 4 hours, 3 hours, and do what's necessary. Right? That's precept. Right? That's practice of restraint. That's what it's all about. Keeping precept is the practice of restraint. Right? In a way, it's similar to a monk's practice. Just the monk's practice different. You know, it's loaded to 227 rows. You know, we can't move. You know, what kind of thing? You know, it's like, can't move. So we have, if you like, a net. You know, we have a fence that protects us. The rules are there to protect us, to help us with our practice. For lay person, so you have to create your own fence. Right? The precept is a fence to protect you. Right? Nothing else. The monk's rules are to protect them. So that they can do the practice. Let's see. Concentration practice. Whether we are practicing as a monk or a lay person, I've said before, there are two practices we have to do. Right? One is reducing suffering. Right? And the other is getting on the path to seeing the three characteristics of life. There's impermanent, seeing there's no essence in anything, which is anatta, which is no self, non-self. And the third, to see that there's dissatisfactoriness. Right? So there are two practices. Reducing suffering, that's important. When you suffer, when you worry, you can't practice. Right? So you have to tackle that first. Right? So that suffering comes from two things. It comes from holding on to a view or holding on to a craving. Right? So the step is to loosen that hold. Right? And then to let go of it. Right? There's some things it's easy you can let go, but something is very strong, you've got to loosen it. Right? There's some things like letting go, but it's not quite. It's a kind of hate, push it aside. You haven't actually let go of it. You think you've let go of it, but you haven't. You actually push it aside. It's hate. And when it comes up, there's a hate there. There's an aversion towards the thing. So you've got to see. You'll come to know about it, when you look at this thing. So it all depends on lots of views. Why you don't like a person, right? And one of the primary reasons you don't like a person is that you build up a view that he's that sort of person, right? And it's only a view, right? And you dislike that person, you hate that person, you see him, you don't like him, you see his behavior, you don't like his behavior. You interpret the behavior, his behavior, according to how you see him, right? Okay. So you have two neighbors, the right side neighbor whom you like, the left side neighbor whom you don't like, If the leaves from the right side of the neighbor come to your garden, you pick it up, put it in the bin. The leaves of the left side of your neighbor falls in, you write a letter of complaint, push it through the letterbox. Different behavior, right? So that's because of your view, this view. You like this person, you dislike that person, and you act differently according to this view. So views, let go, find out. Say not sure, right? Not sure. Don't say it's not true, because once you say that, then the other half of you will start to argue against you. Right? This is true, this is not true, this is true. Not sure, that's subtle thing. Can't argue about something which is not sure. Right? So even your delusion can use it to argue with you. Not sure how to argue. Okay, not sure, we keep it as not sure. But that's subtle. You have peace. Right? When you take things as not sure, undecided, uncertain. Even on things which you are 90% certain, if you keep it as uncertain, you're pretty safe. You do not have to look at all your suffering. You have just to look at the suffering which is preventing you from doing your practice. What is the practice? The practice is seeing, first of all, seeing anicca. To see anicca, to see impermanent. To see impermanence, you must be able to see change first. Right? From change, then only can you see impermanent. From impermanent, then can you see both non-self, that there's no essence, because things are impermanent. You cannot have a permanent entity. You cannot have a permanent essence. Huh? And because things are impermanent, it does not last. It decays, it disappears, it changes. So that is dissatisfactory. Whatever you have, you're going to last. You have this apple, don't let you portray it. Don't turn bad. Have orange, whatever you have, iPod, whatever. 6, 5, 4, whatever. After a year, somebody show you another one better than yours, even though you have not used yours for a year. Change. Better technology. Change. Get the concept experience. Concept will remain concept, no matter how much. And concept, the experience of concept comes from experience. Right? Then you infer from that feeling of what further experience is like. Right? It's not experience. Really hot chili, you don't really know how hot it is. Right? You think you know what hot chili is, because it's hot. Oh, yeah, I can take hot. Yeah. Try one chili, wow, this is a different chili. Right? Experience. So remember, two paths. Lessening your suffering enough to do the practice. And the practice is seeing anicca, impermanent, by seeing change first. From there, slowly to see that things have no essence. Things are dissatisfactory. Now the big question, about attachment, about liking, love, that kind of thing, That's part of living in the world. Well, I'll start with likes and dislikes, and then from there that gets to attachment. And then from from attachment, aversion, it could love and hate, right? Like and dislike, that's the beginning of the thing. You like something, you don't like something. And then it progresses from likes and dislike to aversion, right? And to attachment. Now, and from attachment, it progresses to love and progresses to hate. Now you have to pay a price for every one of them, right? Like and dislike, you pay a small price. Attachment and aversion, you pay a bigger price, right? And with love and hate, you pay a biggest price, right? Get heartbroken, you might not recover from it. You get attached to it, you're blind to everything, right? You cannot, never mind, you can't even go to work, never mind, more doing a practice. You're smitten by this person, right? Every day you think about this person, how to get that person. Can't do any work, right? Similar with hate, you think, how can I get my revenge? How can I get back at him? I'm really hurt, you know. Oh, how do I avoid him? Right, you know. Maybe I can gang up against him or her, or whatever. Right? Well, that's what it does. Love and hate. So you have to think about your practice. That's important. Right? Towards the end, you have to think about the practice. Then you say, well, I find this person who genuinely loves me and is reciprocal, right? And it doesn't affect my practice, right? Then it's okay, right? Okay, until when something happens. That thing might not happen, right? So as a lay person, you can do risk, right? You can do your practice, right? So like all things, love doesn't last. I got so many, 1 in 3 marriages end up in divorce. Why? Everyone who got married swear they love the person. There's no question about it, right? But I wonder if I get divorced. I was mistaken. Well, that person changed. Wow, it's very true. Mistaken is also true, right? Because mistaken is you build something up of something, right? Which is not there, right? We just don't want to see it. We like the picture we build, right? Because we like that feeling of love, right? Now, if your picture is not too distorted of the person, it's not too bad, but if it's totally the opposite, then you're in big trouble. When your friend says, he's not like that, and you say, yes, he is, then you're going to suffer, right? For not really wanting to see, because you're craving, you want the person to be like that, right? Because you're afraid, well, you might not be able to find something like, like that again, right? You can, you start projecting that image to everybody, you can have it, right? That's one of the things, you love everybody. You don't have problem, right? Project a perfect image of everybody. Yeah, you all are perfect. I like you all, you're perfect. No problem, I don't find any fault with you all. Don't distinguish between any of you. No matter what you do, you're perfect, all of you. Right? You can still project that image to everybody, not just to one person. Right? Because that's what you build. That's what you create in your own world. Right? You don't know anything about anybody. You don't really know. You can guess. Right? That's all, guesswork. And you build something and you think it goes true. Right? So there's no easy solution. The thing is to beware of what you're doing and know the consequences. Right? Okay, if you love a person, yes, that's fine. Check that it is not 90% delusion and 10% kind of factual thing. Right? Okay? So if you believe that it's going to bring you breakfast every morning, you know, because he brings breakfast for the last 3 days, you know, think again, you know. That kind of thing, you know, flowers, whatever, chocolate, even speaking to you nicely, treating to you, especially opening the doors for you, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm just being sensible, you know. But everything's not sure, right? It's not just the person is pretending. Because that person like you is overcome with love. Forget about everything. He's dedicated to you when the love is there. Right? When you love him or her, you dedicate everything in him. He's the prince, you're the princess. Right? When that feeling is gone, right? You use different words again, you know, with each other. You don't even wish each other good morning, you know, that kind of thing. Right? That's because contact, feeling, perception, all dependent on origination. So if you work on dependent origination, understand dependent origination, see the cause of something, why the person is like that. Oh yes, his eyes is full of love, you know. He's deluded, you know. Totally deluded, he thinks I'm perfect, you know. Poor boy, you know. Right? Okay? They're seeing things as they are. And an origination. Seeing things as they are. Contact, feeling arises. Feeling comes from perception. Perception comes from the identity that people build. Right? Yeah, I like your face because you look like my mother, you know, when she was young. Really good. So, that's the perception. You can't help the conditioning. You know, oh wow, it reminds me of an actress I saw before, you know, that kind of thing. So check that you're not deluded, right? That your identity is true. If you do fall madly in love with somebody, always put that thought that the person can change. That the person may not be what he is, but still love the person. Right? So it's a kind of insurance policy so that you don't get heartbroken. Right? So you can step back. Right? Standing back, always standing back. Because the world is dissatisfactory, right? The world is dissatisfactory because of change, because people can change. Your likes and dislikes will change. You like that person because he's like that. Now you think, I don't like it, that was childish. Right, but before I like that, you know, yeah, you really like that, but you change. Now you find this kind of thing childish, right? And it's not the other person's fault, right? So you change, they change, and everything changes. It's nobody's fault, right? It's conditioning. This is our conditioning. We go from one phase to another, right? And we have likes, we have dislikes, things changing.
So our practice towards the path of awakening, the path goes from seeing things as they are. Right? When you really see things as they are, you become disenchanted with it. Right? Because it is satisfactory, it changes. Right? Seeing things as they are in Pali, the Yatha Buddhanyana Lasana. Disenchantment is nibbida. After disenchantment, you become dispassionate, viraga. Once you become dispassionate, you have freedom. Vimutti. You let go. It's not important. Right? What people don't realize is that because they have not seen whatever that's inside them, they think that everything that's created is out there. Right? Everything that's created that is out there is something they created. Because they want something great, they create it. Right? Something not quite near perfect, they make it perfect. People convince you, you know. Vintage Jaguar, great, you know, wow, tells you all the good attributes. When you bought it, you get nightmares, insurance so expensive, you cannot find replacement parts of it, you've got to keep it out of the weather, it's a whole nightmare for you. Right? But before you buy it, you build this great picture. After you have it 1 year, oh, the amount of effort you put into it. You try to convince somebody else it's great, and you can sell it to him. Right? That's it. Go past delusion. Let the other person wake up, you know. Okay? So things that are out there is what we created. Things that are real is within us. Right? Spiritual joy, spiritual happiness, tranquility, equanimity, loving kindness, compassion, joy in the joy of others. Finally, Nibbana. Right? These things are real, not dependent on anything, not dependent on anything that's outside or inside. Right? It arises because there's skillful mind. It arises because the mind is calm. Right? Different stages. Purity of the mind. And those things, apart from all those that I've mentioned, Nibbana is permanent. Right? The rest still arises and passes away. But you get tremendous joy from them. Right? It costs you nothing. You don't have to maintain it, you know. Well, except being skillful, keep precepts, you know. And good thing the precept becomes automatic. So with the layperson's practice towards awakening, depends on each of you, right? We all have different tendencies, right? So we have to examine ourselves, right? Some people like going out, some people like staying in, right? People like going out, mixing with friends, party, or going, whatever they do, the extrovert people. The people who are introvert, you know, they spend their time. They might be on the computer, you know, trying to do something. So both are really addicted to things. Alright? Addicted to things. So don't spend the time practice. The most important part of a path is the practice. It's not the theory, right? The theory is just for you to get the confidence onto getting the path. Theory is just an understanding. The practice is the direct seeing, sitting, practicing calm meditation, practicing samatha, developing joy, developing happiness, developing concentration, developing mindfulness. And from there, you look at things that arises within yourself. See how things that arises in you are conditioned. How those things arises and passes away and you have no control over it. How those things arises because of contact. And gaining insight into those things. And the insight is the heart seeing it, not the mind understanding it. Sometimes reading too much becomes an obstruction to your practice. Understand that when you look at that thing, you start categorizing it. That's it, this is it. This is contact. Or this is feeling, that's it. I'm going to the next stage, I'm waiting for craving to arise. You know? Doesn't work that way. You have to see feeling. What is this feeling? Is it hate? Is it resentment? Is it vindictiveness? You've got to see exactly what is it. Where does that feeling comes from? Where does that contact come from? Where does my conditioning comes from? What? How come this feeling is associated with this object? In the beginning, you won't be able to see it. You know, and just keep, I don't know. Can't see it. Doesn't matter, leave it. Right? Second time you arrive. No. When you come to see it, you will know within 3 seconds, 5 seconds you see it. If you can't penetrate it, you just can't penetrate it. It doesn't work logically. It comes from the heart. It arises by itself. Conditioning. It comes from what you call clear comprehension. When you can see the totality of it, right, then the insight arises. That's what clear comprehension is, seeing total everything. But you can see just parts on it, can't hold it. You can't hold this feeling, what it is. It's shaky. Right? So that's what the practice is all about. Right? Sitting. Another important point with the in the layperson's life is your energy. Right? If you start looking one thing after another, going for one thing, spending your energy on that, spending your energy on that, spending your energy on that, spending on that. In the end, you don't have the energy to sit, Yeah. So you want to conserve energy. Whatever you do, you try to do it mindfully. Once you have mindfulness, then you can keep your energy. So try to do things with mindfulness. Try to keep your mindfulness. If once you keep your mindfulness, then you have maintained that level of energy. So when you do your practice, it's much easier. And you develop that energy. So your sitting practice, your samatha practice, your vipassana practice will proceed much faster because you start from a particular energy level and a particular state of mind, rather than flat, and start all over again, build up. By the time you build that up, you say, oh yeah, I've sat for an hour, that's it. Or something, and that's it. Further, the next day you flat again and you start all over again. But if you keep that level, right, then when you sit, then you start. increasing from there. Start from there. Then I come down slowly. As you maintain your mindfulness constantly, you more mindful, then you retain that energy of mindfulness and concentration. And when you sit, you start from there. As soon as you sit down, you go to deep concentration. Another way of getting your sitting practice to deepen quickly is to walking meditation. The walking meditation that I recommend is not just this. See, that's a bit personal. It's a samatha meditation. Just walk left, right, left, right. That's monotonous, you know. Right, left, right, left, right. Then you turn around, left, right. That focus your mind on your walking. Right? That's samatha walking. Left, right. So it's just like instead of watching your breath, you're watching your step. Do that for 15 minutes, half an hour. Mind is concentrated, sit down. Very fast. In the beginning, when you first start, you might have to do maybe an hour to get to that state. But soon, you will know when you get to that state anyway. If you don't know, you haven't done it right. Simple as that. There's no magic to it. It's just concentrating your mind on left, right, and shut everything out. Right? That's it. That's all you do. So when you get, in the beginning it might take a long time, then after that it might take about half an hour to get that state. You know, and then later on, depending on your energy, you might get 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So that's good. So once you do that, then do 20 minutes walking, and you sit, and you get profitable result. Right? Then you learn to maintain your mindfulness throughout the day. In maintaining your mindfulness, you need a key, an object, and the breath is an object. The body is an object. Skeleton object. Depending on what your teacher says, depending on what you want to, right? Just a key so that your mind doesn't run away. Once your mind runs away, it's spending energy. Your mind goes, then you realize, you're exhausted, just thinking about something of no value. Right? Comes back to the same conclusion. From the beginning, with no answer to it. So the path of the practice is no different from the way monks practice. Keep your morality, sila, ethics. Maintain concentration, samadhi. Maintain concentration and mindfulness, which is samadhi. Investigate. Find out the cause of things through dependent origination. Right? That's investigating, not reading. Right? That's practice. All these are practical things. Practice. Right? No one can do it for you. I think I'll stop here.